What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here and welcome back to another MK11 video, and today we're bringing it back. Of course, now that we have something new to talk about and look forward to, I could bring back my Q&A series, which I did for Injustice 2 and I did it for MKX. Now, the questions that you guys could ask me doesn't have to relate to Mortal Kombat 11. It could be anything. It could be about real life stuff, or it could be pretty much anything you want. Doesn't guarantee I'll answer it, but I will try to answer as much as, many questions as I can, and bring in some variety here and there depending on what questions get asked. But most of the time it's about MK11 or the new game that's coming out or that's currently out, expecting some DLC, etc. It's just a way for me to, talk about different topics that you guys ask me. It's a lot of fun for me to do these Q&A videos. So if you guys have been enjoying the MK11 gameplay that I provided, leave a like rating on the video. It's always appreciated. So all these questions that I have here, of course, since I hadn't made a Q&A video in a long time, all these questions came from Twitter, which is twitter.com/lsuper_. If you guys don't follow me already, you guys definitely should, because I'm literally on Twitter 24/7. All right, so first question is, does MK11 play more like Injustice 2 or MKX? And the answer to that, if you want me to just compare the game to one another, it definitely plays a lot more like Injustice 2. The difference is that the screen is not even close to being as big as Injustice 2. So in reality, it plays like a mixture between Injustice 2 and MK9. It's not as fast as MK9, but the movement and the way the characters feel, it feels a little bit more like an Injustice game. All right, moving on here. Do you think all the MK kids will make it into MK11? And of course, MK kids are the new introductions, Kung Jin, Takeda, Cassie Cage, and Jackie Briggs. I honestly do not think that Jackie or Kung Jin are going to make it back into another Mortal Kombat game, or at least MK11. I really don't. I feel like Takeda will make it because he was a huge fan favorite, but I don't think that Jackie or Jax will make it into the game. Unfortunately, I just have that gut feeling, because if Jax doesn't make it, then I don't think Cassie's gonna make it. Now, if Jax ends up making it, then I think that, they will put Jackie in the game. But to be honest with you guys, I really do not think that Kung Jin or Cassie or Jackie are gonna make it into MK11. I think the only new generation MK kids are gonna be Cassie and Takeda. If I could choose only one character between Ermac and Erron Black, who would I choose? Fuck, this is a hard choice right here. So if I could only pick one character from Ermac or Erron Black to make it into MK11, who would I pick? Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. I would have to go with the cowboy. I would have to go with Erron Black, because like I said, if Erron Black is in MK11 and he's as badass as he was, and he's as fun as he was in MKX, he will become my new favorite character in MK history. Right now, it's currently Ermac. But if I had a choice, I feel like Erron Black's playstyle and I would pick Erron Black. I'm sorry, Error Macro, but if I only had to pick one of these, I would pick Erron Black. Let me know who you guys would pick down below in the comments. I'm sure a lot of you guys would probably rather see Ermac than Erron Black. But man, I love the cowboy, guys. I really do. Which character did you like playing most in the MK11 build that you played? That's an interesting question, because I did try every character. Yes, including Sonya and Raiden. Actually, Raiden was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's unfortunate that I didn't really get too much gameplay with Raiden. You guys will see a little bit down the road in this video where I'm trying to find a way to combo into his flight, because he has at least a variation that I was using. He didn't have his teleport, but instead he had a flight move, kind of like Spectral Ermac, but not as mobile. It's down up, and you could cancel it from a special move, and you have 3 or 4 different things you could do. You could do a downwards lightning, a straight lightning, a like overhead flip kick, and then you could cancel the flight. I was trying to find a way to combo into it so bad because it looked really cool, but I just couldn't do it. So Raiden was a lot of fun. I just, tried to spend the most time with Sub-Zero and Scorpion because those are the characters that felt the most familiar to me. But I think, in my opinion, definitely Scorpion was the most fun. He had some of the biggest combo potential out of any character in the game. He had a lot of cool moves. He has a lot of cool gear. And I think definitely Scorpion was the most fun, followed by Scarlet. Even though she's very heavy into space control and zoning, I feel like just playing her, and she did have a couple moves like the Quan Chi Trance that I didn't get to use, unfortunately. But I had a lot of fun trying out Scarlet and playing her. But definitely the most fun character for me was Scorpion in the build that I played. Alright, moving on here. Will Cyrax, Rain, and Reptile be in MK11 since they were modifiers in one of the Towers of Time? No, definitely if you see a modifier, if you see a special move that is like a little modifier in a Tower of Time tower, like in a stage or a fight versus a character, that does not mean that they're going to be included in MK11. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be in it, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be in it, because it's been in every game since MKX, right? There's moves that are in the game, and same thing with Injustice. There's moves that are in the game that are like modifiers that never end up being characters in the game, and at the same time there's moves that are modifiers that from characters that are actually in the game. So just because Rain is in it or Cyrax is a modifier doesn't mean they're going to be in the game. Do variations only allow 3 special moves per character? Yes, actually not 3 special moves. Each variation only allows 3 like points, right? So they allow 3 slots to be filled up. Count them as points, right? So let's just say, for example, Sub-Zero's shoulder tackle is 1 point. So then I have 2 points left to choose a move that either is 1 point each or another move that has 2 points. So pretty much the way moves work in this game is they're categorized by points depending on how good the move is. So for example, Garrus has a move that makes him revert time back to 4 seconds 4 seconds in the past. So if he's standing at the edge of the screen or behind the opponent, and he walks forward for 4 seconds and he activates the move, it's going to bring him all the way back to where he was 4 seconds ago, including the life that you had and I believe the meter that you had. Well, actually, I think your meter drains completely. Never mind, forget, not the meter, but if you had more life than you currently had 4 seconds ago, you go back in time 4 seconds and your life goes back to how it was 4 seconds ago. So that move actually takes up 3 move slots. So it has 3 points that it takes up out of your 3 points. So if you want to use that move, you could only pick that move for your custom variation, because there's only 3 points per variation that you could choose. Now you could go with 3 different moves that only cost 1 point each, and then you could have 3 special moves, or you could have one move that is only 1 point and then the other move takes up 2 points, or you could have just one move that takes up 3 points. Pretty much how it works, and why I think it would be easier to balance the moves compared to if all of them cost 1 point, because of course the best moves are going to cost the most amount of points. So it would be a lot easier to balance the game based just off that. So if you guys are wondering, by the way, every character has a base set of moves. So each character, for example, like Sub-Zero has his Ice Ball and his Slide in just as a built-in move set that he has, like his combo strings, like his normals. And then depending on what you give the character in your custom variation, that depends on what you use in the game. And that's why, NetherRealm had, is thinking about doing 3 preset variations. So they're going to choose what moves are included in each of the variations for that specific character. But every character comes with like 2, 3, sometimes even 4 special moves that are just built into the character without any special moves added with the custom variation. Let's see, where am I at? How does the new meter system feel, and do you think it will change? No, I actually do not think it will change. And at first it feels a little weird, but I found myself not really using meter too much, so I didn't really notice the difference just because I was trying to learn the game. But it definitely, at least from the outside or just visualizing how people are going to use the meter, I have a feeling that it's definitely going to be used a lot more defensive than offensive. And I'm talking about like the offensive meter. It's going to be used more as trying to keep your opponent away as opposed to using it for launchers, because there aren't too many like launchers in the game, and there's not going to be too many extended combos in the game. So that kind of has me worried. But the fact that every character gains meter at the same time is actually balancing the game a lot more, because you had characters like Liu Kang that had his insane block pressure and he would build meter and build meter and build meter, or you had characters like Kano in his in his red variation, I forgot what it is, I think it's Commando Kano, who had insanely fast projectiles that will build meter, you know, just shooting projectiles, or Injustice characters, better example. So now every character builds meter at the same pace, which I think that's going to balance the game out more. It just depends on how people are going to use the meter, you know. So I feel like the system is fine. Maybe depending on what you do defensively, the meter is slower to build up, because actually it's pretty fast no matter what you do. So if you use interactables, you lose a bar of meter on defense. If you do a reversal, it actually takes your defensive and offensive meter, but you regain that pretty quickly. So maybe the defensive meter, you should regain things a lot slower. But overall, like, I think we could get used to the meter change. It just depends on how people are going to use it in the long run, depending on how the game actually ends up playing. Do you think there will be a lot of walk back and projectiles like Injustice 2? It depends on what character it is. Scarlet is a space control / zoning character, so the best thing to do with her is walk back, because she doesn't really have mix-ups up close. But it's okay to have zoning characters. Like, not every character has to have the playstyle where you're in your opponent's face 100% of the time. You know what I mean? There's room for zoning characters and there's room for aggressive characters. So depending on how many zoning characters there are, is going to determine whether there's going to be a lot of walk back. Because in Injustice 2, 90% of the characters want to either 90% of the characters benefit from walk back. So depending on how many characters they put in this game that benefit from that, depends on if we're going to see a lot of it. But the positive thing about Mortal Kombat is that even at full screen, the screen size is not that big. So I know the mobility is going to change. I really do. I think they're going to speed the dashes up, and I think they're going to speed up the pace of the game, just based on making the dashes and maybe even the walk speed just a little bit faster is going to help out the game a lot. I know I have a feeling that's going to happen because everyone is talking about this, even professional players. So the fact that the screen isn't as big as Injustice 2 is not going to be the same as Injustice 2, because the opponent has a smaller window to corner themselves. So if you're an offensive character and your opponent's just walking back, you're going to catch up to him a lot faster than you would in Injustice 2. So I really do not think that Mortal Kombat 11 is going to be plagued with the walk back as much as Injustice 2. Of course, some characters will have that, but not every single character, and it won't be as bad. Except for Erron Black, Ermac, etc. What other classic characters do you want to see back? I mean, other than the fan favorites, I really don't have a pick of, you know, a classic character that I really want to see back. Here's one that's out of left field for you guys. If I had to pick one character from the 3D era, I would pick Havoc to make it into MK11. I'll give you guys that. Do you think returning fighters will have at least one classic skin? Classic being from MK1 to Armageddon. Yes, for sure. I think it was confirmed already by Ed Boon that there's going to be a lot of different characters or different costumes, a lot of different costumes for characters, and they could work with a lot more than having the limitation of the gear that was in Injustice 2. So I definitely think we already see some influence of classic costumes for different characters. So yes, I definitely think that there's going to be a UMK3 costume for like the ninjas. And I think there's definitely going to be a lot of different classic costumes for like Raiden. He's probably going to end up having an MK1 costume. We kind of already see one that resembles MK1 Raiden costume. But I think every character that is a classic character will have classic skins. How do you like Sub-Zero? I think Sub-Zero was really, really fun. He was one of the only mix-up characters in the game because he has a overhead starter and a low starter that both combo into Ice Ball. So he definitely was one of the only mix-up characters in the game. So I found him to be really fun because he was really aggressive in your face. And he has a slide to get around zoning. The other character, of course, was Zonia, which, you know, she's always been a mix-up character. But she didn't really have the mobility that Sub-Zero has with his slide. So, you know, she kind of had a lot harder time to get in. Do you think tag team mode will return or any minigame? Unfortunately, there was an interview between, I think, Angry Joe and Ed Boon where he actually brought up specifically chess combat, you know, the little racing game, and he's like, are these little mini games going to be in the game? And Ed Boon straight up said that no. Well, he didn't straight up said he didn't say straight up no, but he said that you know, when they're thinking about what to bring to a game, they can't bring every feature, even if it's a fan favorite, because they're putting so much resources into story mode, into the multiplayer, into the towers, that they can't really put in everything like chess combat and, you know, these secondary games. And the same thing went for tag team mode. He said that there's has to be things that are left on the cutting room floor, which unfortunately means that the chances of us getting tag team mode is very, very slim, which makes me sad because I feel like in MK11, I think the tag team mode could work really, really well. But unfortunately, it looks like we're probably not going to get that. What chances do you give Mileena returning in MK11? I kind of wanted to stay away from like me predicting characters that are going to be in the game, just because I don't know, you know what I mean? But I would give Mileena like a really, really high chance of making it, just because Baraka's in the game. Baraka died in MKX. You know, of course, there's a lot of different Barakas. There's a lot of different Mileenas. So just because she's such a fan favorite, I definitely think she's going to return. She's either going to be on the main roster or she's going to be DLC. So yeah, I think Mileena has a great chance of making it. Do you think Flawless Block is better than Push Block? For a Mortal Kombat game, I think that Flawless Block is a really good idea for something that could be game changing if you master it. And I think people who put in the time to try to learn how to Flawless Block perfectly in the middle of strings are going to be really, really good, because there's some strings that have gaps in them. And it looks like the backdashes in this game do not have invincibility. So the Flawless Block is going to be even more important now, because now if you do 114 or something like that, and then, you know, the last part of the string has a big gap in it, you can't backdash it anymore. So if you Flawless Block it, you could actually punish the opponent for going for it if you decide to counterattack with an enhanced move. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Flawless Block and how hard it is to master it. Top 3 changes to make it MK11 better. Change the meter burn input or amplify input to right trigger only. Make the dashes and walk speed a little bit faster. And I think that's it. I think just those two things, in my opinion, are what's holding me back from really like. Well, it's not holding me back from being excited. I'm fucking dying to play this game again. But I think those two things will make the game a lot better. Just the movement and making the meter burn / amplify be only with the right trigger instead of a specific button for each individual move for every single character in the game. So that's going to be the end of today's Q&A video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.